Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, I want to share with you my self-care evening routine. I usually finish my workday between 5 and 6 p.m. and will quickly put away my computer, then get out my bullet journal to do a bit of reflection and planning. Especially on evenings where I want to focus more on self-care, I like to get some of the work of my evening done as quickly as possible. So I'll write out any tasks or to-dos for the next day while work is fresh in my memory, then put away my planner so I can enjoy the rest of my evening. Next, I like to grab a few sips of water from the glass tumbler that I always have with me by my desk so that I can get hydrated before I begin my workout. Working out is a habit that I've really been trying to build in 2021. I haven't always been the most consistent with it, but it's something that I'm wanting to improve on. So I'll start out just by getting out my yoga mat and then proceed to doing a variety of stretches and body weight exercises. Most of my job is done at a desk, and so I try to focus on moving some of the muscles that are most immobile throughout the day. Right now I'm not following one specific exercise plan, but I'll kind of tailor what I do each day to fit whatever I feel like my body needs. While I do eventually want to do something a bit more structured, I am trying to ease myself into it a bit. But then once I've finished, I'll roll up and put away my yoga mat and then try to finish any remaining water in my cup. I get dehydration headaches really easily, so this part is really important to me. The next thing I'll do though is to go over to our hallway and put on some socks and shoes so I can head out to get our mail. I'll grab my keys on the way out the door and then take the short walk to get our mail. While it isn't a long walk, it's a great opportunity for me to get outdoors and stretch my legs every day. Then with the mail, I'll take the short walk home and then head indoors to begin sorting out any letters that we have. Often, a lot of it is junk mail, so I'll just recycle that. But then for any important packages or letters, I'll deal with them appropriately. But then we move on to one of my favorite activities, and that's watering my plants. We have about 20 plants now that all have different sun and water requirements. And so several times a week, I like to just go in and check on my plants to see which ones might need water, more sun, or anything like that. And even though there are a lot of plants to keep track of, there's something about this process that I find so calming and therapeutic. It really is such a joy watching my plants grow and thrive. And it still gets dark fairly early in the evenings here, so part of the way through watering my plants, I decided I needed to turn on some of my lights. With my plants watered though, it was time to move on to dinner. And on this day in particular, I decided to make a Green Chef meal, who I'm excited to share are kindly sponsoring today's video. And Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company that makes eating well easy and affordable with plans to fit every kind of lifestyle. Whether you're vegan, vegetarian, paleo, or simply wanting to practice balanced living, they have a variety of amazing meals that are perfect for you. On this day in particular, I decided to make this sausage and apple farro bowl, and it was incredibly delicious. And what I love about Green Chef is that with the wide variety of high quality, clean ingredients they have, like their organic, non-GMO, sustainably sourced produce, you can really feel great about what you're eating and how it got to your table. Plus, what's really cool is that Green Chef is actually the most sustainable meal kit, offsetting 100% of its direct carbon emissions and plastic packaging in every box. So if you want to try out Green Chef for yourself, just go to greenchef.us/90Ashlynne and use the code 90Ashlynne to get $90 off, including free shipping on your first box. That's greenchef.us/90Ashlynne and use the code 90Ashlynne to get $90 off. And of course, all the information about that will be linked for you in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. All said and told though, this meal only took about 30 minutes to make, and then afterwards, I spent a few moments plating it so it would look as nice as it tasted. And Christopher was actually out of the house this entire night, and I had the place to myself. So rather than sit down and talk with him like I normally would, I just spent a few minutes on my phone, catching up with friends, responding to some texts, and of course, enjoying my food. I was pretty hungry, so I finished the whole pretty large plate. Then after I finished eating, I cleaned my dishes off of the table and went over to the kitchen to put my leftovers into some food storage containers. I had plenty, and we were actually able to enjoy those over the following couple of days. And then from there, I put my cup, plate, and cutlery into the dishwasher. By putting my dishes away as soon as I dirty them, I find it a lot easier to keep my space feeling clean and organized. And in making the meal, I also dirtied several dishes that needed to be washed by hand, so I also spent several minutes cleaning those as well. The beauty of the pots and pans I use though is that they're really easy to clean. Once that was done though, I just finished this off by wiping down our dining room table to get rid of any remaining crumbs. Then I went to turn on my hot water kettle to begin making a tea. At night, I really do try to steer free from caffeine, and so recently I've really been loving this peppermint herbal tea. Then once the hot water is boiled, I'll just pour that into my tea, often adding a little bit of honey to this as well for an added bit of sweetness. And then once the tea is brewed, I'll just give it a couple stirs around to make sure that the honey is fully dissolved. After that though, it's time to take it to the couch to be enjoyed. And especially at this time of year, I am all about making my environment nice and cozy, and so a warm blanket is an absolute must for me. And lately, I've really been getting into reading novels. I've actually read 3 in the past 10 days. Most recently though, I've been reading through Jane Eyre, and this is honestly quickly becoming one of my favorite books of all time. It's such a riveting and different kind of story that really leaves you feeling glued to every page. More generally though, I do love curling up with a good book and a tea as a great way to calm down and practice self-care. It's a great way to relax that's less mindless than watching TV, but that still sucks you in with amazing stories. After reading for a good while though, I decided to move on to another of my favorite activities, watercoloring. So slowly, I got up and then got out all of the supplies I needed to begin painting. I received a great new set of watercolor brushes for Christmas and recently got this gorgeous pouch for my watercolors. That made up most of the supplies I needed. To that though, I just added a plate and a jar of water for mixing colors. Before beginning painting, I always like to try to sketch out whatever I'm wanting to create so that I can have something to follow along as a bit of a guide before I put my brush to the paper. And lately, I've been on something of a kick of wanting to paint all of the different plants that I have around our house. I love all the calm neutrals that this inspires, and I think it's really helped me to develop my art style as well. In fact, it's something that I've come to love so much that I've been thinking of trying to learn how to make prints of them in the future. As relaxing evening activities go though, this has quickly become one of my favorites. Painting is something that you can so easily get lost in and enjoy every moment of. After I finished this painting, I decided it wanted just a little bit more detail, so I decided to go over it with a pen to just bring out some of the sharpness of the lines. Then afterwards, I was pretty happy with how this portrait of one of my little succulents came out. And it's amazing how fast the time flies when you're doing activities that are really relaxing and that you truly enjoy. But by this point, it was getting late, so I decided to spend a few minutes cleaning up before getting ready for bed. I'm a big believer in resetting my space each night before going to sleep so I can come into a fresh and clean space the following day. And because I usually clean up as I go throughout my day, this doesn't normally take long. It's just a matter of resetting anything that I got out during the night, whether that's art supplies, blankets, coasters, or anything else. Once my space was clean and clear though, I headed to the bathroom to begin my final preparations for the evening. And the first thing that I like to do is to wash my face using just soap and water. It's a really simple way of removing makeup, but I find that it works just fine. Then after washing my face, I'll just pat it dry with a soft towel. I do find that eye makeup is often more persistent, so I'll just grab the slightest bit of coconut oil to remove that before grabbing and putting on my night cream. I found that this winter in particular, my skin has been a lot more dry than normal, so I've been using this ultra hydrating night cream to really just add an extra layer of moisture to my skin. I found it to be just the perfect amount of moisture for me, and I really have liked using it so far. With my skincare done, I'll move on to brushing my teeth, and this is just one of those daily hygiene elements that obviously I like to do every day. That's really the bulk of my evening preparations though. The last few things that I'll do are to change into a comfy sweater for sleeping in, close my blinds so that the sun doesn't wake me up too early in the morning, and then get into bed. I'll set the alarm on my phone, put on a bit of chapstick, and then get out my eye mask so that I'm ready to sleep. And then from there, it's time to lay down and go to bed. That's how I like to wind down and relax after a long day's work. But now I want to know, what do your evenings look like? Be sure to comment that down below, and if you haven't already, I'd love it if you would subscribe below. And don't forget that if you want to try out Green Chef for yourself, you can just go to greenchef.us/90Ashlynne or check out the link in the description box below. That's everything for today's video though. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night.